Broadcasting from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia to around the globe. You're listening to Shark Bite Biz, your exclusive place for business strategy, sales, marketing, and tech in the roaring 20s. And now, here's your host, David Strausser.
Hey, David Strausser here with Shark Bite Biz. Thank you so much for listening. Today's show is obviously going to be very special. We're kicking off our very first interview series interview with a subject matter expert. And I'm open to all ideas for subject matter experts to talk about various topics. If you have something you want to learn about, or you have something you can share yourself, please reach out to me. Let me know, David at sharkbitebiz.com. So for today's episode, though, the pandemic has actually created new challenges for us to be able to reach our customers. If you think back in March, every business, every region for business, subsidiary, mom and pop shop, you had your growth plan, you had your business plans, you had your strategy, all that got thrown out the window. So today, I'm actually bringing in a good friend of mine, Hsieh, who's going to be coming on here, and he's going to be able to kind of explain, what we can do to adjust to be able to still reach your customers, whether they're business-to-business customers, or maybe, you go straight to regular consumers. No matter who you're going to, what James is going to share is going to bring some very important value to you. Now, I want to mention, this is going to be challenging, but it's not going to be impossible to navigate the waters and still be successful with your business during these times. But you will have to adopt much, much faster than you have in the past. I mean, you've got to think of it sort of like on-the-go training, okay? Let's look back in March, okay? Back in March, most companies were operating out of an office, whether it's multiple offices or one central location. Now, all your employees are working mobily. That takes infrastructure. You may not have had that infrastructure to be able to do that transition easily, and you had to move to, relatively quick, work out the kinks and get people up and running so that your business could still operate. I have a good friend of mine, Rob. He works for the Social Security Department and the Social Security Agency, I should say, administration. Oh my, wow, 3 for 3. So he works with the Social Security Administration, and basically he's working from home right now, answering calls. That's something that kind of amazed me because government doesn't pivot fast, but yet they still were able to pivot within, maybe a few weeks to a few months to be able to maintain some sort of level of service. And, that's kind of the same type of pivots you're going to have to do to reach your customers. So, without further ado, I think right now would be a good time to give an introduction to my really good friend, James. He calls himself actually the digital marketing Jedi, but he's also the CEO of Cybertegic, and his company is really great and has helped a lot of other small to mid-sized companies, mom and pops, up and coming businesses to kind of reach that next level. A little bit about Cybertegic is that they are a seasoned digital market agency located in Los Angeles that specializes in strategizing and the execution of online marketing for businesses in the area of Google, Yelp, Amazon, and social media video marketing, which is extremely hot right now. Prior, though, to establishing Cybertegic in 2002, James actually worked at Nestle as its e-business manager and has successfully launched several online business ventures for Nestle. As a seasoned practitioner of digital marketing and a big nerd of technology by heart, James enjoys helping and seeing businesses grow through the innovative use of online marketing campaigns. So, without any further delay, let's bring James on in here and pick his brain.
Reach your customer.
Hey James, welcome to Shark Bite Biz. Such a pleasure to have you here. We're good friends, go back a couple years. Why don't you start it out by telling us, a little bit more about your background, what you do, and some of your specialties.
Hi, David. Hey, thank you for inviting me to your show and recognizing my expertise to contribute my knowledge with your audience. My name is James Hsieh. I'm the CEO of Cybertegic. In my past life, I used to work for Nestle as their e-business manager. That's many eons ago. And then one day I decided with my knowledge, I should come out and start a consulting business to help business transition and pivot online. And this is about 15 years ago. So ever since then, my company, digital marketing agency, has been helping customer, basically client, build their website online, and then, but most importantly, use a strategic advertising, such as from Google, Facebook, social media, as well as YouTube, to drive targeted audience and traffic to the website to increase the revenue for the business.
It seems like all that years of practice of doing things digitally, targeting through social, it was made perfect for this moment. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and later on, I got to share some of the interesting story. I think this pandemic definitely speed up business pivoting to online. Certain things, certain technology that wasn't widely used now has been widely adapted, and we're going to go into that later in detail. But yeah. I do want to share the valuable tips to help business transition quickly online during this difficult period of time.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, because what I've experienced in ERP is that you had customers, maybe they were doing 1,000 orders a day. Maybe it was 10,000 orders a day through e-commerce or EDI, things like that. And all of a sudden, we're in quarantine, we're locked out, and one thing to the next, what happens is basically, they go from that 1,000 orders up to 3,000, 4,000 orders a day, and they just don't realize how to manage everything or how to retune their existing stuff to work into this environment.
Correct. And if the stock market is any reflection of what is happening in the real world, you see the stock price on some of the technology company going through the roof. Amazon, for one, all-time high. Zoom, video conferencing technology, went from $150 to now $250 and still going up. Okay, these are our indicator that during this pandemic, during this quarantine period, people are going online. Business needs to conduct online. So as such, we see sales increasing. But when sales increasing, business internally efficiency needs to increase as well. That's why you were talking about the ERP. And internally, if we don't have that strong enough ERP, you're going to have 1,000 order or 3,000 order, and you can't fulfill them.
Right.
You just can't fulfill them fast enough. I think we should today. I know you invited me to share some of the tips about what the marketing trend is.
Exactly.
Technology can do. I would love to share those.
Yeah, if you could. That's a perfect area to really start to dig in a little bit deeper. What do you view, the marketing trends are? I mean, just to set the table, many companies, including where I'm at full time with Vision 33, basically our marketing plan for the whole year around March 23rd got thrown out the window. It's like, this is not going to work. And we had to essentially redevelop a whole new marketing plan built around digital transformation. So what are you seeing that you're in that field as far as what companies are doing and, what's working for companies? Where are they having successes?
Okay. So it really comes down to what type of business that you are in. And I'm going to categorize into 3 types of business. And I kind of talked about how they should market accordingly, right? You got the regular traditional brick and mortar business, like you have a restaurant or you have a cleaning shop. What do you do during this pandemic? How do you market yourself? That's one type. And then you have the professional services business, like the ERP, Vision 33, or let's just say you're a lawyer, you're an accountant, you're professional services. How do you market yourself? And lastly, of course, is the e-commerce business where you sell goods online. They all should be marketed with different strategies, and different channels. So let me dive into the first category. If today you own a restaurant and you own a cleaning shop, all right, flower shop. Ideally, you need to make sure you're on Yelp and you're on Google My Business. Okay, those are the 2 most powerful channels when people want to think about, I want to take out. All right, I want, which flower shop should I go to that's near me? They will go to Yelp or they will go to Google My Business, Google, and do a quick search to find.
I do that all the time. I was living out in LA with you, where I was lucky enough to meet you, and now that I've relocated out to the Philadelphia area, it's like I don't know what's out here. So when I want something, it's just Google. I'm probably bad at it because I just use Google. In fact, I even just use Google Maps. Okay, I want Thai food. Where's the closest Thai food restaurant or the closest dry cleaner? And I usually go with one of the first 3 that come up that have decent ratings.
Exactly. And then you look at the rating and the reviews, right? So those are the channel perfect for business that has physical store. Now, if you haven't claimed your account on Yelp or Google My Business, you need to do so. It's free. A lot of business, local business right now, they're scratching their head. I have no business. Nobody knows that they can take out and order online with me. What do? Claim your profile and make sure it's optimized, has photos in there, has video in there. Tell people what you do. So at least they know you're still in business and they can pick up a phone call and ask for Uber Eats or whatever to deliver.
That's been one of the toughest things too, because of the quarantines, lockdowns, the weird nature that businesses are in right now. It's like, are they open or aren't they open? And it's been kind of confusing, especially if you live, in a place that's close to one or multiple counties, where it might only be 3 miles to cross into the next county, but totally different rules.
Exactly. And to take this one step further, I see a lot of good practices now out there, is that in your profile, when you're describing your business, if you can emphasize that, what are the safety precautions you're taking with your place?
Oh, wow.
Like, for example, you're passing out mask kits, hand sanitized kits to the customer. You clean your place every day or
is that
twice a day.
Google or Yelp?
Yeah, in Google and Yelp, you could specify in there your cleaning procedure. How are you following a safety procedure?
Wow,
and those are the
that's
places
crazy.
People now will pay attention and saying, oh, I want to go to this place because they're safer. And
I do know that like big tech is going through an odd moment right now where they're under some scrutiny, but I do want to kind of give them some credit because for things like that, like you're looking at the temporary closing notices on Google with different hours or the warnings that you're saying. I mean, they were able to roll that out pretty quickly and allow businesses to actually get their info in there relatively quick, weeks within this happening.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. So, besides using Yelp, Google, I mean, what else do you think, say you're e-commerce distributor, whatever it may be, a non-restaurant or, well, this could work for professional services too, like lawyers, stuff like that. What other ways do you think are some good ways to drive traffic right now to your business?
Okay. So we touch upon the first category of business, the physical store. Second type is professional business, lawyer, accountants.
Yep.
What's very popular right now is these professionals conducting virtual consultations using Zoom.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah, using Zoom, they say, hey, first consultation is free. We can do a Zoom call very quickly, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I can analyze your situation and give you suggestion. And if you like it, then we move forward to the next step.
So okay. So with Zoom, I want your opinion on this. When I just said about how big tech is getting scrutinized,
Yeah.
Zoom has a lot of scrutiny right now for being lax in security. Trolls jumping into the room, I've heard. I remember seeing an article where a reporter jumped in for a staff call on like another newspaper's thing to report of layoffs and stuff like that. I've seen some crazy stories out there. How confident should people be in an app like Zoom compared to something like a Microsoft Teams or a GoToMeeting, things like that?
Okay, so of course this is my personal opinion, and I'm not endorsing any companies.
Oh yeah,
but
your personal, yes. Put the disclaimer, James.
Zoom is very well known now. Everybody remember that word Zoom. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you're going into a webinar or something that is not sensitive in nature, it's okay to use Zoom. You're just gonna attend a class and listen to something. That's okay. But you're gonna have serious corporate meeting, talk about who we're gonna fire or who we're gonna lay off. I would say stick to like maybe Google Hangout or GoToMeetings, WebEx.
So you view that stuff being a little bit more secure yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think Zoom, now that their stock went up so much, they should have the money to fix their security issues.
Oh yeah. Well, they've actually have done it. I mean, I use Zoom intermittently for the company. We typically use Microsoft Teams. And I did notice, like, now what they were doing was, like, with the URLs, they figured out a way to create the random characters to join random meetings.
Yeah.
Now Zoom, responded fairly quickly, and they put in a lobby so that you have to admit people into the meetings and stuff. So they do have some more security built around there.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about tech, okay, how can we use tech specifically, in your specialty, okay? If you're trying to do pay-per-click advertising and things like that, I mean, that can be tedious, kind of going through, searching keywords. How can we try to automate that, on our own? Or, like, how can a company like Cybertegic maybe help people expand that as well, too?
Yeah, well, there's different level of marketing. If just really basic level, like what we were talking about with Yelp and Google My Business, most of the business owner could probably, establish the account and try to advertise.
Plus, it's free that way.
Yeah, but if you're talking about you have a lot of product and your business kind of complicated to advertise, you do want a digital marketing agencies to invest your advertising dollars into it, so you can get the proper return for it.
Okay, give us an idea, because I know both you and I work with a lot of customers that are the same. They're the businesses that are going through the growing pains, going maybe from like small or ultra small up to the next step. They need the next solution up. When you get into a company that's like, okay, we can't handle this on our own, it's probably time that we start getting an agency. What type of budgets and commitments and stuff like that should a company be expecting, roughly? I know it varies industry to industry, but like a good average. Think of a mom and pop shop.
Okay. So I would suggest to business, normally if you want a professional agency to step in and help you advertise, give it about 6 months. Normally minimum is 3 months of advertising. But now we're in the age of big data and AI-powered marketing.
Right.
AI feeds on data. And if your advertising time is too short, it doesn't have enough data to crunch on, and it cannot optimize the campaign accordingly. So my suggestion is 3 to 6 months. Advertising budget, normally do anticipate at least start minimum at about $1,000 and upwards. Okay, because
$1,000 week, month, day
per month.
Okay.
Per month.
Okay.
That's the minimum. Because if you think about it, if let's just say in the world of advertising, we talk about pay-per-click. Every time somebody click on something, it costs you money. $1,000 is really only 1,000 clicks. And
Right.
if you divide that by 30 days, that's only about 30 clicks a day. 30 people
Right.
to your website.
Right.
That's not too many data for the AI to crunch. So you got to feed enough data. Then the marketing agency as well as the AI in the backend can look at that data and make meaningful decisions how to optimize the data to generate better returns.
Now, a lot of companies, like, for example, Facebook, okay? I know with just this channel, just trying to get some promotion for Shark Bite Biz, I'm looking at it, and it doesn't really charge me, it seems, by click. It'll charge you more towards the audience size and the reach. What do you view as far as being better? If you have an option for audience size and making sure people see it, or paying per clicks, which one do you put more value in?
You definitely, I think the primary focus is making sure that you're targeting the right audience. It's not really the audience size, but rather, are you talking to the right audience with the right message? Okay. And nowadays, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, they all give us a very powerful mechanism to target and find the people who want to find. Okay. I'll give you an example.
Hyper detail.
Now that we're talking about professional service business, one of my clients, and you probably know her as well, Elizabeth Yang.
Actually, sorry. She is the interview we're recording tomorrow for the episode after yours.
Great. I'm going to use her as an example. She's my client.
Perfect.
I want to use her as an example. Elizabeth is an IP attorney before, right?
Yes.
But she's also understands divorce law. During this pandemic situations, we saw a huge increase in the number of search for family lawyers due to domestic violence cases, due to divorce cases, sad to say. But as soon as we see this data, we quickly turn to our client and say, hey, you should shift your advertising budget from intellectual property into divorce law or domestic violence. And sure enough, with the search that's coming through, her leads literally quadruples the moment we started advertising.
Wow.
Now she went from advertising one location to 2 locations, and now she had to hire additional lawyers because she's getting a lot of leads that's coming in. People are in help of question about divorce, family issues and things like that.
So that's really, really interesting. And we'll, when I have her on, we're definitely going to delve into that aspect of it as well, too. I do want to ask you a question then, as far as how do you see, though, like this goes a little bit to what you were saying with Elizabeth, but how do you see SEO and as far as how it's evolving during quarantine?
Got it. Okay. Especially during this time, many businesses have a couple of things in mind. One is cost saving. Okay. SEO, search engine optimization marketing, actually is perfect for cost saving. On the other hand, you have the choice. When you want to advertise on Google, you got the pay-per-click, which is search tags, and then you got the product listing ads on there. And then to save money, actually, you want to be ranked on first page of Google naturally. So no matter how many times people click on that, it doesn't cost you money. So to answer your question, during this crazy time, for business to save money, they actually need to invest more into SEO. And when they can reach the first page of Google, then they will get a lot more traffic without having to spend a lot more advertising dollars.
Is it worth it spreading it around into Yahoo, Bing, or some of those other search engines, or is it still like, hey, just Google?
Yeah. So I hope in your audience you don't have crazy Yahoo fan, because I'm about to say, don't waste your time optimizing for Yahoo, because their market share in the whole search market is probably like 10%. Google
But
dominates.
couldn't that also be a niche market? Because you look at the demographic of the people who still use Yahoo, or the demographic of people who use Bing, or some of the alternative ones out there. I mean, there could be value for certain industries which with those niche audiences. Is that correct?
There is, but I like your contrarian thinking. For me, I try just to help my client go for the biggest target possible.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if Google has most amount of customer over there, then we're gonna help them rank in Google and to drive the traffic. So yeah.
That's great.
To give you an example, we have a client, they're ranking on the keyword gaming PC, and then the other client, they rank on best Korean ginseng keywords. And just those keywords alone, being in the top 10, we see tremendous amount of traffic and revenue coming right through just because they went to the first page of Google.
So, jumping back onto the tech-based question that I asked you with marketing, I mean, even with using an advertising agency like Cybertegic, is there any marketing tech tools that, customers should look at? Maybe it's not that necessary solution, but they're all, a group of ones that, are in the same boat that may be able to help them understand their data to be able to reach customers.
Mm-hmm. On the very fundamental level, if for our website, they should install Google Analytics, which is a free tool, completely free tool, and there is a lot of data and knowledge that it could gather and present to the website owners. But if the data is too much for you to decipher, that's when you also enlist the help of digital marketing agencies to step in and say, okay, I see the trend, but what do I do based on the data that's presented for my business? That's what a digital marketing agency can do.
If you work business to, you're B2B, okay? You're a company that specializes in B2B, or maybe some of the other things that are different now because everybody's most people are work from home. Yeah. How does the work from home aspect skew things as far as getting the data? Does it? I know that's a surprise question for you.
It could, on the business level, I think it actually makes us a lot more efficient.
You think so?
And we work a lot more. I think I work 12 hours a day now because all I do is sit in front of a computer, and then everybody think they can easily call me for a Zoom meeting.
Well, I'm saying more like you're, yeah, or an interview for a podcast, right? Yeah, I'm saying.
Brother, anytime. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. So I'm saying more like think about, like you're trying to get analytic data. There's tracking data as far as you could tell what companies are looking at your products, your sites, stuff like that, because it has those IP addresses locked down and knows who they are. How much harder is it to obtain that data since those people that are going to be browsing at your stuff are doing it from their home rather than doing it from their business?
I think the sophistication of Google Analytics and the tracking software out there, regardless of they're looking at it from their office or looking at it from their home, it could track and give you a rough number of the audience and what they're doing, right?
So you don't think there's any loss of integrity in the data or anything like that because of the work from home?
I will say probably minimal.
Minimum? Okay.
In that case. Yeah, because as a marketer, we also take the data at a grain of salt. We will look at it as 80%. We will never look at it 100%.
Right.
Because we know data will be missing during the transition process from one place to another.
Right.
But we look at the overall statistic probability.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's a lot of things that can be tracked nowadays. For websites, Google Analytics. Now, for phone system, because in today's world, if you're still using the own landline, you can't track that much. There are companies like Ring Central, A/A, which is a virtual IP. All my employees right now are working from home, but customers still call our office line and you get forwarded directly to the right department.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, right now, even Microsoft Teams, for example, has pretty much like a phone system that's built into it with the extensions and stuff. And it'll forward right to my Microsoft Teams, or most times I just get the call on my cell phone instead.
There you go. And then the management, on the other hand, could look at the report and saying, oh, how many calls the David picked up, or how many calls did this employee picked up, how long was the duration, and those are data to be analyzed and for the manager.
So we're pretty much running out of time right here, but I wanted to wrap up with one final question for you. Okay.
Sure.
What do you think is the most important thing business owners, executives, directors, managers should keep in mind as they're trying to reach audiences right now during the remainder of this lockdown period and post-lockdown?
Okay. I think a trend that's going to be a norm to our life now is conducting business online.
Right.
I see that. And people are getting used to using Zoom and using technology to conduct business. So I will urge all business owners, whether you're a restaurant, you're a professional service, or e-commerce, you definitely want to implement as much technology to create efficiencies within your business.
Right.
That's one. Two is look at your brand image online. Right now, if you do a search on your business, can you find yourself?
Right.
Do you have a good image on it? And if it says no, you need the help of a professional to redesign your website and then to find the right customers or traffic to bring to your website. Because COVID, the pandemic situation, I think is going to stay with us at least until the end of the year. And then going forward, by that time, we're going to be so trained and so used to not touching each other. We probably won't touch each other for another 2 years after this.
Afraid.
Not touching each other. Every time somebody want to meet with you, we're going to say, let's just Zoom. Why don't we just FaceTime on Zoom?
Do I have to go to the office?
There's some dangers in there. So embrace the pivoting, the transition, digital transformation of your business online quickly. We're seeing a lot of successful businesses successful because they pivoted online. In the last 2 months.
That's great. That's great. Now, if I know it's been like maybe a year and a half, but I believe you were the co-author of a book. Is that correct?
Correct.
You want to plug your book real quick? Shameless plug.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. So I actually have a book. Because I know that a lot of small business, when they're selecting a digital marketing agency, they don't know what question to ask. And God knows there's Los Angeles alone, there's probably 100,000 digital marketing agencies out there. Right. So I purposely created a book just to teach small business owner what question to ask in order to qualify a digital marketing agencies, to pick the right partnering agency to work with, because it's important. It's like a partnership. You're divulging all the sensitive information to them, and you want it also to know they are capable to handle a business in your industry. So,
what's the name of the book?
I actually have it right behind me. It's called the Expert Profile, Volume 5. It's Conversation with Influencer and Innovators. Right. Yeah. So, if any of your audience are interested, send me a text. We'll send them a copy.
Yep, we'll have James' information in the description for YouTube, and for all of our podcast audio listeners. James, do you want to give out your email, website, or anything like that?
Sure. My email is james.hsieh@cybertegic.com. And my website is cybertegic.com. And if I can trouble you, David, when you put your podcast up, just list my contact information and my website down there for people to see.
Yep. Nope. I definitely will do that 100%. So, James, this has been a very informative, I think it was a fun discussion. Informative, fun, because I love this stuff, and I know you're a great, amazing guy. And I'm certain that we're going to have you coming back probably like once a quarter to talk with us about, current marketing trends as we're going through this transition that we're in right now.
Yeah, and David, thank you. I'm really honored that you think of me for your show, because I really want to share my knowledge to help business during this pandemic time. This is what I know. It's in my head. I can share it, and I believe it could help a lot of small business. So it's an honor for me to participate in your show and divulge my.
Thank you. And anybody else that's interested, James also was in a major publication somewhat recently. Was it Forbes?
It was ABC News.
ABC News. Sorry. Hey, it's so big. ABC News, so you can check out his article there as well too about the current situation. So thank you, James, and we'll definitely be seeing you again, man.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, take care. Wow, that was a really great interview with James. We were really able to learn a lot, and some of the sticking points I got were about knowing when it was just too much for a business to handle internally. That's when you need to either hire somebody internally, like a data analyst, somebody like that, marketing person that can really comb through all the data you're getting, or hire somebody externally, whether it's an agency or a consultant or, somebody like Cybertegic, in order to help you understand the data and the trends. The story that he gave us about the business intellectual property lawyer that ended up shifting priorities during the pandemic to family law was pretty telling. Data doesn't really lie, and if you can decipher it, the data will help you unlock your full potential of how to reach your customers, whoever they are. The other point that was really good to me and stood out was that there's a ton of things small businesses are able to do, but they're not always doing it. You got to make sure that you're really claiming that Google listing, Yelp listing, whatever site it is, that stuff is free. It's no cost to you, or your business in order to go in there, click the claim button, fill out some basic info, and that way it'll actually allow you to control some of the basic information that's located on those key sites about your business, okay? Think about your hours, especially during these times. Have your hours changed? Are they constantly changing day to day? They're not what they used to be. Things like that. You can update that, by the hour, I believe, on sites like Google Maps, okay? This will clearly make it very easy for customers to be able to reach you. So, tell me, what's your secret to reach customers during quarantine? Let me know at david@sharkbitebiz.com, or if you're watching on YouTube, come on, you got to leave a comment below. What are you doing? What have you changed during quarantine? We're going to dedicate an episode to that in a couple weeks, and we're going to be going over some of the user responses that we get. And also, personal plea for me, if you all want to see more videos like this, you want more detailed, in-depth discussions, give us the feedback, but also, you gotta please make sure that you subscribe to the podcast and hit the subscribe button on YouTube to be up to date when all the new episodes of Shark Bite Biz drop. So with that, take care, and I'll see you all next episode.
Thank you for listening to Shark Bite Biz. We hope you got some insightful info from this podcast. Be sure to subscribe to us through your favorite podcast app and visit us on the web at www.sharkbitebiz.com. How has business changed for you in the 20s? Email us at podcast@sharkbitebiz.com so you can join us and share your story.